Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books, and today I have a haul. This is my last haul of 2020. These are books that I've accumulated over the last couple of months, and I just want to say that when I have disposable income, I tend to spend it on things like books, and it's never me trying to tell you that you need to accumulate more books. The reason I share hauls is because I like watching them. I like watching library hauls too. A lot of the books that I read are from the library, and this time around, because of how bad things have gone for bookstores during this pandemic, most of the things that I've ordered have been from independent bookstores because I really wanted to support them, and that was basically my excuse to placing several of these orders. Having said that, let me get right to it because my dogs are at the window and I need the shades on the window open in order to have some good lighting here. Let's see, where do I start? Okay, I'm going to start with some really amazing book that I picked up, Tlatelolco by Darcy Little Badger with illustrations by Rowena Kai. This is an Own Voices middle grade book that features native stories, and the more I've heard about this book, the more I have wanted to purchase it. I am really game for middle grade books. They have really I've really been loving them over the last couple of years, and if you're interested in it, I'll leave a link down below, that way you can check out more what it's about. I'm kind of going into it a little bit blindly. I've seen a couple of reviews of it that were really good, said really good things about it. It looks like it has a lot of the elements that I really like in these types of books, and the cover illustration is really amazing, and I really wanted to support a native author, and that is why I purchased it. A book that will complete a trilogy is The Burning God by Rf Quang. This is another one of those that I had to purchase it because I purchased the first two in the series, and I need this third one. It's such a great series, and I think Rf Quang is amazing, and so I still haven't read The Burning God. I'm supposed to buddy read it with Priscilla over at Bookie Charm, so we'll see when we get to it. A book that has gotten some really excellent reviews is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. So this apparently uses some early American Native stories, and it's a fantasy. I believe it's a fantasy. And I don't know much about this book except that people have been saying really good things about it, and I knew that I wanted to support the author. So here it is. A book that Priscilla over at Bookie Charm turned me on to is The Jumbies by Tracey, Baptiste. So this is a middle grade kind of scary story. Corinne Lamere claims she isn't afraid of anything, not scorpions, not the boys who tease her, and certainly not Jumbies. It just looks so good. And again, so I'm really excited to get to this one. I thought I was going to get to this earlier, and somehow did not, so there we go. A book that I ordered because I'm thinking about assigning it in one of my classes is the Popul Vuh. This is the Mayan kind of origin story, and in this edition it's only like $2. I really like these editions in terms of assigning them for class because they don't print too much in here. It's just the actual reading, and they print them very cheaply, so ideal for students. And so I'm gonna see. I need to read it real quick and see if it's something I want to assign, or if I just want to assign kind of sections from it. So we'll see. Let's see, where do we go next? A book I had to get because it is described as a young adult fantasy story with dragons set in Puerto Rico. So these are Puerto Rican dragons. This is Blazewrath games by Amparo, Ortiz, and just talking about Puerto Rican dragons, I knew I was going to buy this book, and so here it is in my possession, ready to be read. One book that I was missing from my Tlatelolco books have been accumulating on the massacre of students that occurred in Tlatelolco in Mexico in 1968. Was this one, Tlatelolco, Aquella Tarde by Luis Gonzalez de Alba. This one is in Spanish, and I believe it's a first-hand account of what happened at the plaza. I'm going to be reading all of these books on May 1968 in Mexico. So watch out for a video on that coming next year. All right, lately I've been accumulating and reading about Black communities in Europe. It's something that I try to emphasize when I teach classes on European history. And I recently read African Europeans. I'll put a picture up somewhere up here. And then I was talking to Dee Dee over at Brown Girl Reading, and she's been reading Black and British, A Forgotten History by David Olusoga. I know David Olusoga does really good, approachable histories, and she says this one's much more readable than African Europeans, and so I will be getting to this really soon. Then I also picked up Afropean, Notes from Black Europe by Johnny Pitts, and again, I will probably be getting this sooner rather than later, and so maybe I will probably end up doing individual reviews of each of these books because they're, academic history books, and then eventually probably do a video talking about the historiography on the topic. So lots of plans coming in 2016. In 2021. All right, a couple of books that I guess I will be mentioning here because they were in my TBR pile is Lynn Hunt's History, Why It Matters, and then Sarah Maza's Thinking About History. I'm actually going to be teaching a course for future history teachers, and so I'm trying to compile a list of things for them specifically. All right, a few books I got from Book of the Month. I'm trying to use up all my credits with them, and so that I can cancel that subscription. But so I went ahead and used 3 of my credits this month. The first one was Christina Lawrence in a Holidaze. This sounds like it's a kind of Groundhog Days kind of story, but set obviously around Christmas time and a romance. So we'll see how I do with this one. And then Dee Dee had me picking this up because she did an individual review of this book that sounded really, really good. So this is Luster, a novel by Revan Leilani. And it sounds like the main character in here is complicated and messy, and I am here for all of that. The third book I got from Book of the Month is Full Disclosure by Camryn Garrett. I've been wanting this book for a while. Like every time I walked into a bookstore before the pandemic, I took a look at it, and then just, I was being cheap. And when I saw that Book of the Month got it or had it, I decided to pick it up. So this is a young adult book, and the main character is HIV positive. There are not a lot of books about this topic, especially set in, especially not in young adult. So I'm really interested in this one. And finally, I have 3 books that I bought because I saw the author listing them on Twitter. The author, Jackie Lau, did a list of books that she wrote that engage with the theme of abortion. And so I bought every single book on her list. So these are the 3 that she mentioned. Not Another Family Wedding, Pregnant by the Playboy, and The Ultimate Pie Day Party. Jackie Lau, I've only read one of her books this year. I have a bunch on my Kindle that I purchased via ebook and that I plan on reading, and then these 3 because this is one of my main area of interest, the history of abortion, and it's not always that you find especially romance novels that engage with that theme. So the fact that she said that these 3 books too have that theme, I knew I wanted to read them and do a dedicated review just on this topic. So watch out. As you can tell, I have quite a few plans for the coming year in terms of reading and the kinds of videos that I want to put out. So this is part of why I wanted to film this haul video now, because in the coming weeks you're going to see a lot of videos from me, kind of end of the year type videos, best of, and also setting some goals and giving you a preview of what you can expect to see in my channel in 2021. So I really hope that you enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have read or are particularly interested in hearing my thoughts in any of these books, let me know down below. That usually gives me a lot of encouragement to get to the book, and I really appreciate any and all encouragement. But thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.